Okay, this is going to be a short clip. As you can see, we've got the bar flipped over, and last night I did my first pour to start filling up the level of the pond, and that came out pretty good. And now I'm going to add another layer in there, and just keep building it up a little bit at a time. It's one of the reasons I skipped the video last night. First of all, it was a long day, and I just wanted to get her done before I went to bed. Second of all, this is not very exciting. This is a little bit like a lot of the other videos you see where they mix up a gallon of epoxy and they pour it over a large table, spread it all out, and that's that. And that's what this is, except that I'm doing it in layers, just in case something goes wrong. I don't have to back up too far, and I don't waste too much epoxy. So without further ado, this is mixed per the manufacturer's instructions, and here we go. Watch how exciting this is. Section where I'm pouring this is flat on the top because it seeped its own level last night. And I am just adding more, and we'll see how high this goes. It's a lot like making a pond in your own yard. And once you get it all dug and everything arranged and all the rocks put in the right place and your outfall dam all fixed up, then you just watch the water come in and fill it up. Well, that's what we're doing here, except I am doing nothing. You will note I'm not swirling this around with a spatula or spreader or anything like that. And it actually takes me longer to clean out the cup, clean off my stirring stick, than it does to do the actual pour. So there we are. Gonna grab my torch real quick, which I forgot to bring over. Get these surface covers off. That is so cool when you do that. It's got like chicken pox all over the top of it. You just wave that torch over it and boom, they're gone. And per the client's request from this morning's conversation, gonna add a little more blue in here. I've got this powdered coloring stuff. Just spritzel it in, and it's a different layer, so the light's gonna hit it different as it goes through each layer. And I'm just mixing this stuff in right in situ, as we used to say in the lab. And then I draw it out a little bit. I know you can't see that probably. Doing a 2-camera shoot here, by the way. Didn't think I'd ever hear those words come out of my mouth. Drag it out just a little bit. Give it that current flow. And that's going to dry just like that. And I would say, if I had to guess, that I added about maybe 3/16 of an inch to the depth of this. Maybe even more. Maybe a 1/4 inch. Which may not sound like much, but it might be more than you think. So now what I'm going to do is for the next 2-3 hours, I will be in and out of the shop doing other stuff, bringing in firewood, little chores and stuff. I keep the movement in the shop to a minimum so I don't raise any dust. The dust flecks will lay in here if I make too much of a ruckus. So I will keep my activities in the shop to a minimum, but I have a lot of other chores to do. I got a wood drying rack to do a little tarp repair on, firewood to bring in, things like that. But in the meantime, while I'm doing all that, every 15 or 20 minutes I'll come by and I'll check this and make sure there are no air bubble dots or anything. And I'll just take that torch, I will, wherever the torch went, oh there it is, and I will give it a sweep with the torch just like you saw, just to make sure that those bubbles stay out and this stays nice and clear. And I'm going to grab the camera and I'm going to show you what this looks like now. Pop this off, there we go. Sorry about that. So, yeah, a little hard to see here. But you start to see how, it's very hard to see on the camera how the different layers show up at different levels. But that's the section. So I did all of this out here and around and down, and all it is finding its own level and filling that pond up just like it would do if you dug one in your yard. Little bit of surface tension holding that back here, but on the next pour that's going to get filled in. And you see all these imperfections and uglies like this. This is one long drip that actually goes the entire way through the pond. But as the new layers come on, that drip disappears completely. So, and you can see I've got some stones in there. Let me try turning this light off. See if that changes how it appears to you. Again, it reflects everything. This is going to come up nice and shiny, and it's going to look fairly slick. The client was kind of happy with it. Still got the reflections off the front windows. Can't help that. But anyway, there we are. Boring as it may be. And we'll let it go at that. And I'm just going to keep building it up and building it up. Eventually it's going to fill in here. And then it's got to fill this pocket in here, which gets fairly deep and drops off the edge down there. You can see that's where our waterfall is. So I'm slowly coming to grips with how I'm going to finish this out and make it look nice and deal with the flow of the epoxy at the same time. But we're getting there, a little bit at a time. It's coming together. It just takes patience, and it can be largely boring most of the time. So I will catch you the next time we do something of interest. But right now I'm just going to be doing layers, so I am not going to video every bloomin' layer that I do. That's just inhuman punishment. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. You can go see my other stuff at woodsmanforestproducts.com, and we'll be back when we have something worth sharing. Bye-bye.